Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tyranobanks, or Raquel, whichever one you want to call me. And today we are doing another movie review, and it is another Tyler Perry movie. Another one. He is just coming out. He's dropping the goodies this year, obviously. So I know a lot of people have like a lot to say about Tyler Perry in his work, but I'll get more into that as I go through this movie review. But let's go ahead and hop right into the movie review of Divorce in the Blank. Okay, so I think me and everybody else can agree that the beginning of this movie was very wild. I honestly don't know what I was expecting. I can say like the opening scene, I was like, oh, this is about to be something really country. Something really country is about to happen. And when Ava, who was played by Megan Good, when her father's up there preaching, I can honestly say he could have said that so much more differently than the way he was saying it. Like, he basically said that the man in the casket was basically going to be looking up from hell. And I was like, clutching my pearls. What? And before I could know what was going on, the most craziest thing happened. So boom, okay. You see the church. He's preaching. You see Megan Good with her husband, Ava with her husband, Dallas, and what I later figured out after like the whole scene was his brother sitting next to him, and then his mom, and then his other two brothers sitting behind him. They're all sitting there, and she's trying to like comfort him, and he's like snatching away from her, and like I immediately knew that I wasn't gonna like him. Like I immediately knew that I was not gonna like him. But like in that moment, as her dad is preaching, she felt it in her soul that it was gonna go downhill. And like I said, he basically said that that lady's son was looking up from hell, and if like their family continued moving the way that they were moving, that they were all gonna end up just like him. And all that, although that may have been true, the message could have been presented a different way, because I did see some people say like, oh, like that's why I don't go to church now, and this. And what I wanted to say, but I did not say, was that one, y'all must have forgot that y'all are watching a movie, but two, pray and let that church hurt go, because all churches are not the same. You get a different experience at different churches. But in that moment, the preacher was definitely wrong. So the mom gets upset, and she started like taking her clothes off in church, and people was like, oh my gosh, oh no. Because honestly, I didn't know what she was about to get ready to do. I thought she was gonna like strip down butt naked in the church, and I would say, Tyler Perry. But basically she was like, I don't need, like, you think we need y'all, but we don't. Like, I don't need these hand-me-downs from you. We should have just did what we been doing with our family and buried them in the yard, basically. Buried them on our land. And so she told all four of her sons, which I don't remember the other brothers' names, but she basically told them, grab him. Grab his body and take him on out of there. And I have never seen nothing like that before, but I just know that had to be traumatizing to grab. I'm already sad because my brother's dead. I'm already sad because my brother is dead, and he died because he tried to rob an older woman, and the older lady shot him and he died. But I'm already sad that my brother's dead. Now you want me to grab my brother's body out of this casket and carry it? And they couldn't tell their mom no. She was already on 1,000. So what did they do? They carried that man's body out of the church. And of course, this setting was in a small town outside of Atlanta. And so it moves on to Ava and her best friend talking to her best friend, basically telling her like, how much more how much more of this are you gonna take, basically. And then like the next few scenes, it shows like Dallas disrespecting Ava, and she's just really trying to hold on to him. So the next scene that I remember is that she's at work, she comes home, and he's like, oh, like, you know, we got dinner reservations with our best friends, basically. We need to be leaving soon. And she was like, okay, cool, like, let me wash up, get ready. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, you can just go like that? You ain't been doing nothing but sitting down, because she worked at a bank. But she's all like, but I've been at work all day. Like, I just want to clean up. Give me 45 minutes, I'll be ready. So not only was she ready in 35 minutes, she was ready in 35 minutes. Why she come downstairs and he left her at the house? I said, oh, Dallas is, oh. Like, his character really started off, like, with that tone at the beginning of the movie, and he held it all the way through. It wasn't like, oh, like, you get to see his nice persona and then he turns into this mean, grumpy old. No, his character was described like that as being a young teenager, and it was shown on screen throughout the entire movie. So luckily she had her car. And as they're at the restaurant waiting on her, her best friend's mad because he left her at the house, which I would be mad too, because why would you leave your wife at the house? Like, why would you do that? But not only that, like, he was drunk as well. He was being disrespectful. And it's like, as soon as she walked in, it's like she messed up his day or something. Like, he just had a sour attitude. And in that moment, he did the most unexpected. He was all like, I want a divorce. Like, I'm done. I'm done. Divorce. And that just completely threw her off. Okay, boom, moves to the next scene. And it's basically her, like, feeling her feels. She drives back home. She's with her parents. She meets somebody from her past, Benji. I'm rocking with Benji. When I first seen Benji, I was like, hey. But her, like, linking up with Benji and just that whole, like, week of refresher was needed. And then after that, it's just like Dallas went nuts because she didn't fight for him, and I think that's what he wanted. He wanted her to fight, like, no, don't divorce me, don't leave me, but instead she sucked it up, and she was all like, I just want to get this over with. Let me sign these papers. Where do I sign? And that's exactly what she did. She signed the papers, and then she walked out. And then he was just like, all she wants to do is embarrass me. What do you mean? I'm confused. You wanted to divorce her. Why do you feel like she is embarrassing you? He felt like she was embarrassing him at the funeral. He felt like she was embarrassing him in front of his family. But the thought that I had the whole time watching this movie is that this lady is your wife. She's your wife. And not only that, like, y'all been dating for so long. I think they were dating since she was like 15, 16 or something like that. And in the movie, she's like 37. And it's just like, you've been dealing with her for this long. Like, what's your problem? And it's because he was basically jealous of her. But I don't know, like, it was confusing, like, how you... I was gonna say, like, how are you jealous about how you jealous of somebody, but I've actually been with somebody that was jealous of me, so I understand because I experienced it, but I automatically picked that up. So basically the movie just goes through with the terrorizing, and I can say that Dallas was nuts. Dallas was nuts. And another thing was that Ava was stuck through the mess with him through the, I don't know if he cheated on her, but I do know that he did beat on her. He disrespected her. He treated her any kind of way. Again, I don't know if he cheated on her. I don't remember that part in the movie, but he hit her. And she stayed because she felt like this was something that I could work through, when the biggest thing is that love is not supposed to hurt. Mentally, emotionally, physically, verbally, love is not supposed to hurt. That's a message that I got from the movie, that love is not supposed to hurt. But like, him and his family, crazy, nuts. The way that his mama was talking to her, me and moms would have been duking it out. I honestly, and that gave me another perspective, like, that I want to marry into a family where their family is loving as well. I don't know if I can marry into a family and your mom doesn't like me. Like, that's a lifetime thing, because when I think about marriage, I'm like, we for lifers, unless, you know, you break our vows, then we not for lifers anymore, you know. But like, the way that that lady was talking to her was wild, and the way that Dallas was acting towards Benji was also wild, because thankfully we got backstory on the history between Ava and Benji, that her and Dallas, when they were teenagers, they had broken up, and so Ava decided to go on a date with Benji, and Dallas and his brothers pulled him out the car and beat him up to the point where he was in the hospital. And after that point, she was with Dallas. But she was like, I wonder what life would have been like if I would have been with you. And he was like, well, this is our second chance. And so ultimately, like, she chose her own happiness, and she chose to be with Benji. But of course, that cost Benji some things as well. And like I said, Dallas was nutty. He was real crazy. I think the craziest thing is beating up him and his brothers, really his brothers, because he didn't do anything. But his brothers beating up Ava's dad, the preacher. That right there, wild. That was wild. Dallas snatching up her mama in the store, that was even more wild, because you already put your hands on me. You're already disrespectful towards me, but now you're disrespectful towards my parents. Your brothers beat up my dad. You putting your hands on my mom. And I think that right there set her off. It set her off. I can honestly say, like, I knew that Dallas was going to die. I just didn't exactly know, like, how it was going to be done. So her basically, like, letting him hit her this time and, like, getting the bruises and then calling the police on him. I was like, okay, she's smart, okay. And I knew, like, her dad giving her the guns was going to come into play some kind of way. And it came into play when she shot him. I do also want to make a comment on the end of the movie when they're walking out with her dad in the wheelchair, and they're like, oh, what are they doing here? And it is the Dallas's mom and then two of his brothers, and then Benji's like, oh yeah, the youngest son got shot last night. And I was like, dang, like, not only did you just buried one son and he got shot, and then I'm pretty sure you just buried Dallas because he's dead, but another one of your sons got shot and he probably not gonna make it. So now you went from 5 sons to 2. And it's like, when is there gonna be an eye opener there? And then that's kind of how, I don't remember, is that how the movie went off? Because I don't remember anything extra after that. So that's my quick overview of that. Now to add what I think about it, I think it was good. I do wish there was like a little bit more background on like Dallas's and Ava's relationship, just a little bit, because I know when she was going through it, like, they showed a few like flashbacks of, I guess, her happy moments with him. It didn't really seem like much, but I wish there was like a little bit more background on that. I did like how they touched on Benji and Ava's background. I like how they touched on Benji's and Ava's background. I did appreciate that. I wish that they touched more on the letter that her best friend wrote her about like all the things that Dallas had ever done to her. I wish that we could have probably like seen a little glance or something, so we could like pause and read it. But with her mom finding that letter and like basically explaining like, oh, like you really went through this and you didn't say anything and you stayed, and like, but I wish we kind of got some more insight on that. It kind of felt like I seen somebody say this, that it seems like a lot of things happened in the movie, but then again, nothing happened at all, which I can kind of agree, because like, what was the real, like, they never said like the reason of why Dallas was doing all of this. Like, Dallas, you wanted this divorce, why are you still here? What's your reason? It's not clicking for me. I do feel like I wish Tyler Perry would hire some writers, because, you know, it could have been a little bit more. But I do also want to like congratulate Tyler Perry on this movie. I will watch it again just in case I missed anything. It's a thriller, all right. Dallas was nutty. Dallas was crazy. For me, I give this movie out of 5 stars, I give it a 3.5 out of 5 for the stars, and then on a scale from 1 through 10, I'll give it like a 7.5, 7.98, somewhere in there. I enjoyed it. I was in here like, oh, what? Oh, like, oh, he doing what? He did what? And I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight for Ava. Like, I wanted to, like, her best friend. Shout out to her best friend, because I honestly think she was one of my favorite characters, other than Benji. Benji was fine though, but her best friend, which I cannot remember her name right now, she was one of my favorite characters, because that's what you call a true friend. That is my long-winded review on Divorce in the Black by Tyler Perry. Like I said, Tyler Perry, keep doing the things that you do, creating the things that people feel like they don't want to see, but honestly, it happens in real life. And also just keep doing you, because as we keep seeing, you're paying these actors and actresses what they're worth. And as a creative and a creator myself, I really appreciate that. So make sure you guys comment down below and tell me what y'all think about this movie. Make sure y'all follow me on social media, and make sure y'all subscribe so y'all don't miss another video from me. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.